welcome to the Focus on the Library Week 4. This is the session on using library search. Before I start, I just wanted to acknowledge the sovereign owners and custodians of the land that we meet on today, the Pambalong people of the Awabakal Nation. I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and I'm also extending my respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here today. So what we're going to cover today is what is library search, what can you find with library search, and how do you use library search. So I'm just going to hand you over to Michael now.
Thanks, Annie. So when we're talking about library search, the library has a single search bar which you can use to find and access nearly anything on the library's collection. So that includes electronic and physical items, so any of the items that we have here in the library buildings, also any of the articles, electronic books, electronic newspaper articles, films, anything like that that we have access to through the online collections. It's all part of the library and you can search for any of those things using library search. And Annie's going to do some demonstrations on how library search works.
That's right, sure thing. So this is our library search bar. So you can, as it says there, find journals, articles and more. Instead of using these tabs, just to make it really straightforward. Now what I've done is I've just clicked on that search bar. This is actually what the homepage looks like. So that if you're going to use our library website at all, it's a great place to start right here. And I see our search is down here. So, for example, we might be doing, I wanted to search up Aboriginal and heart disease. So that might be, I might be doing a health topic or an Indigenous cultures and history topic. So, for example, if I wanted to look for the word Aboriginal, I could just search that term. And I've given it a capital because that's an appropriate way to be using that title or name, Aboriginal, because it's referring to a group. It's a special noun. So also you might see I've got this yellow stripe. So a quick tip, just make sure you sign in if that comes up. That gives you full access to all what you're entitled to as a student. So you don't want to miss out on that. So we can see that we have 156,000 results there just from Aboriginal. So there is a lot of results, but if you had an assignment that was asking about health conditions in Aboriginal communities, for example, just searching for Aboriginals, it's going to give you a lot of results. That's way too, that search has given us way too many results. We want to narrow our search down. So we use the Boolean term and, so there's and or not. So and is a good one because it's going to look for all the articles that have the title Aboriginal in them, as well as all the articles that have heart disease in them. Now this actually isn't the best way to do the search, but what our focus here is on the results. So if we're doing a search on Aboriginal and heart disease, for example, see it's thinking there, so I know it's going to retrieve results from our databases and put it all together. So now it's down to over 1,000. So because I've used two words up here together, that is probably not the most efficient search. So if you've got two words together such as heart disease, it's like a phrase. So we don't want the databases to find everything that says with heart in it and everything with disease. We want it to search for the phrase, those two titles side by side together. So to instruct, this is sort of like your library language, or it's sort of like a code. So we're just going to put it in these phrase marks, and you'll see we were at 1,348. Doing a quick search. So we see it's come down to under 1,000 results now. So that's still a lot of results though, but it has narrowed our search by using and. So if we were going to use or, that would make it more results and broaden our search. But for this assignment that we might have, this hypothetical assignment, heart disease and Aboriginal, not too bad, but there's still some other things that something we recommend to students all the time is think about your limiters as well, to get scholarly academic articles. Very important to, down the side, we're refining our results. It's like a limiter. So just as if you are online shopping for that pair of Nikes that you've been chasing up and you just want white or you want size 8, you go down here and apply that filter. We only want peer-reviewed articles. The other thing that might be relevant would be the publication date. So this is telling me that the earliest articles from 1971, we do not want that, let's say to 2015. If you're not sure, check in your course materials or with your lecturer. So I'm refining that. So let's see how many results we get now. 290. Okay, so if you have a look up the top, you'll see active filters. So it's really important to make sure that those filters you selected actually stay there. And they are up there at the moment, the 2 filters, but to lock them in, I'm going to say remember all filters, and they've changed colour now. So that tells me that if I go and do another search, it will keep those 2 filters. Basically doing a search with that, and we can see we've got those results. And then to go down here, you can see in the dark rectangles, we've got highlighted the format of what it's found. So we've got a lot of articles here, all peer-reviewed, of course, and that's just highlighted there as well. So, yeah, that's one example of a search. Yes?
I have a question. If
Great.
you're using and or not to refine your results,
Yes.
do they have to be in capital letters?
They do. That's a very good question. Yeah, that's true. They have to be in capital letters. So if it was, so it'd be just like that. Or that's going to, or I try and remember it by or means more. So we're changing what we're asking it to do now. So we're actually getting it to find anything with Aboriginal, anything with heart disease, and give us all of that. So that's broadening it. So you can see it's come up with 290,000. Did you want to add anything else to that, Michael?
No, I think that was really
Yeah.
good, Annie. I think I'll just show the students where they can look up the search tips so they can
That's
find any
very
of those search techniques that you just went through.
Absolutely. And that'll make more sense with your capitalisation and the phrase marks. There's a few little tips and tricks in that what Michael's about to show you.
So Annie's just gone through how to do the operators, so and or and not, and how to use phrase search. So if you do need to check where any of those tips are, or you need to remember how to put them into library search, there is this page search tips just linked underneath the library search bar. Here we have that explanation in a visual representation of and restricting by making sure that it's only results that have both terms, and or is results that have either term or both. And down here we also have examples of the phrase searching that Annie just went through. So they're always there for you to check if you need them.
I've got a question.
If I'm on a university web page,
Yes.
how do I find the library homepage?
Annie, I think this is your specialty.
Okay, well, sometimes if you go into one of our library guides and you're looking in there and you try to go back, you might get a bit lost. So I always go for the, it looks like a horse. So I always click on this, and I remember it by horse and hamburger. So if we go over here, it's actually representing of a seahorse, which is a hippocampus, I believe. But for the purposes of today, we're going to go horse and then hamburger and then library. Is there any other questions from the audience?
If you have any more questions later, you can always book in to see us. You can book a librarian and we can help you go through your search strategy, how to use library search or any of the other search tools that we have. And we can also help with referencing. And we also have a bunch of other sessions coming up this week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.